To this channel, welcome to yet another edition of 60 Minutes Nigeria. I am Wilson. Today's edition has a proposal is already on the ground. Now, what is this proposal? It's all about removal of immunity from governors, yes, vice president, and deputy governors, even on governors right now. What do you think this will really bring forth in Nigerian democracy? That's a question you've probably been asking. I've been talking about that is what they've been drilling. So why would you target just governors, VPs, deputy governors? Why not the number one man in Nigeria, which is the president? How come they're beginning to say XYZ? Because after all, the Senate president do not have immunity, the Speaker, House of Representatives do not have immunity, so why would a governor or, well, let's say his deputy have immunity? Anyway, I have a legal practitioner here in the studio to really analyze the situation, tell us what he feels about this particular proposal. Right now, it's a proposal. From there, if it becomes a bill, that the first reading, second reading, assent, and the rest of it. You know the drill, don't you? But why now? Is it important for the governors to remain with their immunity, or is it better for Nigeria as a society or as a country to have governors without immunity? Gentlemen, welcome Barrister Emmanuel Obapolo. Barrister, welcome to 60 Minutes Nigeria. Appreciate your comment.
It's a pleasure. Good day, Nigeria.
You're right. And we're still expecting Dr. Leo Asikidi, a political analyst, of course, a medical doctor, but when you start talking politics, you get to realize that sometimes there is this thin line between medicine and politics. After all, the one-time deputy governor of Delta State, and of course, one-time governor also of Delta State, who was a medical doctor. Anyway, Barrister Emmanuel Obapolo, what do you feel about this proposal? Why is it making the rounds, even at this particular point in time?
I don't see anything special about it. Though Section 308 of the extant Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria does confer immunity on the president, the vice president, the governors, and their deputy. And many of us have cried over the years that in a peculiar country like ours, where there is gross abuse of power, gross violation of the provisions of the Constitution and other laws, even rules, you do not need any special qualification like immunity conferred on any public office holder, from the president to the least. But here we are. The drama started on the 29th day of May 1999, where the Constitution was single-handedly given to us by the then military junta led by General Abubakar Abdul Salam. And one man's constitution, so to speak, has led us to where we are today. And we've witnessed and experienced a lot of gross disobedience and lack of observance to laws in this country, particularly by public office holders. Those who have not seen themselves as demigod, they see themselves as persons who can turn man to woman and woman to man. But here again, I want to guarantee you that it is an exercise of futility. It will not succeed. It's just like the politicians in this part of the world have expertise in distracting the people. And they've looked for what to distract us. They've not seen, because the Natasha Akpabio saga is gradually going down. That now they now look for what to distract Nigerians again. And they came up with what they call proposal. But I bet you that it is not going to see the light of the day, because already we are perceiving, and we have started seeing reactions from the states. The states are beginning to react, because if indeed the House of Representatives, as pivotals of this proposal, are serious what is so special in the qualification of conferment of immunity on the president, and you now remove immunity on the vice president, the governors and deputy governors, as the case may be. You see, for me, it does not make any sense.
But that's this to check impunities of these office holders you just mentioned.
Who is the one carrying out impunity on the people? The president is the one that is carrying out impunity. The president has so much powers, and as such, the president now sees himself as an emperor.
But that's what I'm talking about the governors also. They see themselves as a demigod in their state to the extent that they can resist the president from their own domain.
Don't you think that is leadership by example? Don't you think? Let them remove immunity on the president too. Look, there is no specialty about that. In civilized democracies, there is absolutely nothing like immunity. No, there is a kind of diplomatic immunity, so to speak. I think they should enjoy that. Then when you talk of local immunity that has to do within the confines of the states where they govern, I do think that the proper thing to do is that on some aspects of the functionality of that office, particularly when it has to do with civil matters, the president should be sued.
Should be sued?
Yes, the governor should be. On civil ground, and not bringing the Attorney General of the Federation, who will now stand as the wage, the Superman to him, or the Attorney General of the state.
Just hold on now, just paint this picture. A governor, a vice president, a deputy governor without immunity. Don't you think it would be better for the states they govern?
Let me tell you, the office of the vice is symbolic. It's just there just for the enjoyment of that office until his boss say, okay, carry out this function. He cannot. I don't know whether you are getting me. Now, if the man whose powers must be granted by the boss, you are saying you are removing that power, then the boss who has enormous power to so grant and not to grant, then you say that man should enjoy immunity. It does not make any sense. So if we want to go forward in this part of the world, I think all of this is another drama we are going to witness, and it is targeted towards the 2027 general elections.
We will come to that. But right now, you've not answered the question about it being of great benefit to the states they govern.
It is not going to be of any benefit because, one, I know it is not going to work.
What if it works?
It will not work. We are in a country where
it works.
We are in a country where
you know what? Someone said that we are sick and tired of as a nation to start probing governors when they leave office, when the crimes were committed, when they were in office. Why not probe them then and there?
Listen. There are a lot of evidences to prosecute a man when he leaves the office. But those who are saddled with the responsibility of probing and prosecuting that fellow will not do it because they themselves, they come with one singular intention. And the intention is to do what? To continue from where the matter. See, this National Assembly, this 10th National Assembly, whether you call them the House of Rep or you call them the Senate, for me, they are bird of a feather. There are people who are not serious about any matters.
You cannot say they are not serious about any matters.
Listen, they are praise singers. Men who are experts in singing on your mandate we shall stand. Do you think those men will give you anything? Absolutely, we are going to have another distraction. Already it is, and that is why I'm here seated discussing it. It is a distraction. They want to keep Nigeria busy. So it's a moment or an epoch.
But these same suggestions have been there for quite a while. That for us to have effective governance, you have to remove immunity from the governors and, of course, the deputy governors. That has been a song in the office for quite a long time. I don't think they are making sense in what they're proposing right now. Now, let's leave the office of the vice president. Let's have a conversation, but now we're focusing more on the governor. If a governor knows that, if he should siphon public funds, whether he is the alpha and the omega in a particular state, he will be held accountable because there is no immunity to guarantee his protection. I don't think the governor will perform better.
I just ask you a question. Though I know you are the one who anchors this program.
That's why you can ask
you have
the
to ask
question.
me questions here.
Yeah.
But because I see your zest on the matter, the president leads by example, true or false? He should lead by example. So what is that specialty? What is that protection? What is that defense that is being given to the president? I must tell you, the president is the king of embezzlement. If the president,
these are just unfounded allegations. Can you prove it?
You can call it whatever
Can you
want to.
prove it? Because we've gotten present, past. You just name it, all right? They've not been found wanted in Nigeria.
Who told you?
They've been found wanted.
Who told you they've not been found wanted?
Mention one. That may call to book.
The man they are prosecuting now, the former minister for petroleum they are prosecuting now, whose authority did he act on in all the claim that he did? Is it or was it not the president?
Nobody mentioned the former president.
Listen, that is why I tell you that there is this special protection on the president. And that's why if we want to make sense to Nigerians and to the international community, we should start with the president. There should be nothing absolutely like immunity. Because the immunity, to my mind, is a shield for corruption. And the bill, the proposal, the bill now, they claim to pass the second reading. We are made to understand that it is going to curb corruption, eradicate impunity, and enhance accountability. Then my german question to them is, who should be the head of accountability in Nigeria? Is it not the president? Who is the president accountable to? He is accountable to Nigerians. Then why are we shielding him? Why this protection on him? Why the vice president? The vice president that is not even functioning.
But it's like you are so much focusing on Mr. President and you are leaving the governors, according to reports, some of them are acting like demigods in their own states.
Because the chemical reaction is from the top to the down.
All right, now you just hold on. If you just joined us, this is 60 Minutes Nigeria. We'll be right back after this break. Don't go away. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is 60 Minutes Nigeria. And joining us right now in the studio is a medical doctor, yeah, and of course a political analyst. We'll talk about politics. Is well deep into it. Let me to welcome Dr. Leo Asikiri. It's a pleasure to have you join us this afternoon.
With your marshal. Thank you, viewers at home.
Right.
Sorry for coming a bit late.
It's okay. It's okay. Traffic, gridlock, and a lot of commitment. Well, from what Barrister Emmanuel Opal have been talking about, he said, about talking about immunity, about governors, I should focus more, Mr. President. After all, he's the #1 man in the hierarchy. All right. And he also opined that this might not even see the light of day because to him it's a huge distraction. But what do you feel about the concept of immunity from governors? Deputies, just focus more on governors right now.
Thank you, Wilson. Well, before I will just give probably my view, but I would like to refer back to the origin of the word immunity that has been described in the Constitution. You know, there was a writer from the Yoruba axis who believes that the word immunity was derived from the Yoruba word and not the Yoruba man, immuni, and interpreted to mean that the king cannot go wrong. And, you know, in those days, when there was this monarchical system everywhere, they believed so much in the deity and they fear the deities. But where we are in our country currently, I don't think many of our leaders fear God. And if you look at immunities, simply telling us that this set of people are protected from any forms of investigations or prosecution while they are in office, whether it's criminal, civil, whatever it is. And that means they can do and undo. And to me, we're only trying to protect them from corruption. When we mean corruption, it's not just money, it encompasses the entire system. And if you look at the Constitution also, it's also telling us, this word immunity is telling us that some animals are more equal than others. That means some persons are exempted from the Constitution. But there are different views on this issue. But my own view is this: I am a leader, and you say that whatever I do, I cannot be investigated until I leave office. Before I leave office, I will try and patch them up. I'll try and find ways to cover up those loopholes. And that is why you see there is this idea of leaders wanting to impose somebody else to take over from them, so that whoever is coming will cover their ass. And I don't think this is good enough for us, because we have practiced this for too long. It has not favored us. So in my view, yes, if you are removing immunity, it should be for everybody, but with some limitation. Especially if you are...
With some limitation,
Yes.
how?
Because if a leader commits a criminal offense, you cannot say because he's president, he can kill anybody, or he can ask people to kill anybody and he's free. So if he commits a criminal offense, he should be investigated even while in office. And if he deems fit that he should go, he should go. And to me, if we don't do that, this so-called EFCC and what have you, they will not achieve any good result, because, like I said, they will patch up their deficiencies before they leave office. It's a matter of them manufacturing vouchers and what have you to cover all the loopholes, and that is it. So, in my view, it is high time we began to think of how to pull our immunity down in our Constitution.
All right, you've heard them. Immunity from the Yoruba word, immuni, right? That you cannot judge a king. But what if I to say that if this is done, definitely it will be better for us. Now, that brings back to mind the question I asked. These governors being more honest, being more forthright in governance if it is removed.
Wilson, again, the toga immunity is a protection for the political class, particularly those at the helm of affairs. In a sane society, gone are the days immunity is a consideration. If you want to move forward, onward and upward, you remove immunity. And that will make, whether you are the president or the vice, the governor or deputy, as the case may be, to sit up and sit tight. Look, I am not even bothered with the deputies and the vice. The singular reason is the functionality of their office is dependent on their boss, so to speak. So, when the boss themselves, like the governors, because you have special interest on the governors, let me tell you about the governors. I cannot, I shall not, and I will not protect the governors. Immunity should be removed from them. Immunity, again, should also be removed from the president. Like I told you, I said the chemical reaction is from the top to the bottom. If the governors are deemed not to be qualified for the conferment of immunity, then the president also should not be conferred with immunity, because you are going to bring a situation where there will be sinister move even among the political class. And that is why I think that the proposal by this 10th assembly, particularly the House of Rep, is an exercise in futility. It's another form of distraction to Nigerians. We are going to see another distraction, and it is already a distraction, and that is why we are seated here discussing it. The immunity clause, as encapsulated in the Constitution, is a shield, a protection, and a defense for the political class, public office holders, who ordinarily and commonsensically ought to be accountable to the people. So, if what they say that the removal of the immunity clause on the vice president, governors, and the deputies is one, to curb corruption, my question to them is, does the office of the president not take part in corruption? Are they now saying that the president is the sinner sent among the political class? They also made us to understand that it is to eradicate impunity. For goodness sake, are they telling us that the eradication of impunity, that the office of the president that appears to be that of an emperor or a tyrant, does it exist in Nigeria? 3, they say is to enhance accountability. Are they saying that the president is not accountable to Nigerians? Same with the governors and their deputies. See, we have a lot of activities to be serious with.
All right, you just hold on. I want to go for another break. All right, I'm going to throw the same question at Dr. Leo Asikidi. Is it an exercise in futility? And how come this office of the president was exempted in all of this? We'll be right back. Do stay. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is 60 Minutes Nigeria. And of course, I have a seasoned analyst to really shed light on this particular discussion, talking about the proposal in the House of Reps to remove immunity from governors, deputy governors, vice president. But a major concern in this particular discussion is that of the governors. Yes. Well, Dr. Leo, you heard him. He said this might just be an exercise in futility. Do you feel the same?
Well, in my view, I would not want to do exactly the same line, but it may end up that way. It depends on the position of Nigerians. If we say from the beginning it's going to be an exercise of futility, so be it, because if there's one of these countries I'll be watching on World News, I'm trying to remember whether it's Turkey.
Yeah, the position in Turkey about Erdogan locking up an opposition member and stuff like that. Yeah.
Good. And the people rose, and the president, the incumbent, is charging that particular mayor for corruption. Why now, when elections are closed? And behold, this the man that he has locked up is adjourned to be one of the most formidable opponents to that man. But the people have risen. If Nigerians say they want immunity removed, and I think it will work. But on the other hand, if we just allow them as usual, they do their jamboree and what have you, I've seen that they've just said they want to go and do further consultation. Why did they consult initially before they started this whole,
My question, sir.
the whole process? So as far as I'm concerned, it may end up the way I said, but if we, because when they say they are going to do consultation, we may not even hear when they are doing the consultation. We don't know where they are going to do the consultation. So if they are going to do further consultation, they should make it public and give room to anybody who is willing to participate, to be a part of the whatever, to be a part of it. But if they just go and gather some people and gather signatures and say this is what they said, of course, we will not get anything good out of it. But as far as I'm concerned, it is hard time because in those days, the king was not faulted. The king cannot do wrong. But now, our leaders, those who are our politicians who are leading us, they are known for doing wrong. So immunity should be removed, not just for the governors. If you remove for president and if you remove for vice and you leave president, the president will use that to remove his vice if they are not in good terms. If you remove from the governor and from the deputies and you leave the governor, is of course it's a way to quickly remove
The deputy.
the deputy.
That is not lawyer.
And if you are removing immunity from governors and what have you, I hope our ministers too, they don't have any immunity.
No, ministers don't have immunity. They don't have immunity. Anyway, you can join this conversation by calling the phone. And of course, the lines were displayed on your screen. Tell us what you feel about this proposal. The number also will be displayed there on your screen. We'll get to hear your views and opinion on this particular discussion. Now, some Nigerians have the view that it's like a ploy or a means for some members of the House of Representatives to cash out.
Yes.
Maybe they want the governors to come, say, guy, kill this bill. Let's just do one or two. In terms of Ghana must go exchanging hands. What do you feel about that notion?
In my introduction, I did say that this 10th assembly that can formulate a poem wherein they sang, on your mandate we shall stand. You want to see something that will impact on the people from this man, it is an exercise of utility. I'm not telling you, Wilson. Look, by the time they saw that, Nigerians are not busy now, the catalog of drama we've witnessed from 1st January 2025 to today, they saw that there is no more drama. They came up with this one. And I agree absolutely with the school of thought who said or who believe that it is an era to cash out. Because this country is a great nation with intelligent persons. Yet see where we are in Committee of Nations. And the leaders are not bothered. The simple reason is because they are beneficiaries of all that transpires. Government has been lifted above the people of Nigeria. Doctor said, if Nigeria wants immunity out, how can Nigerians want immunity out when government has been lifted above them? A country where protest is guaranteed in the constitution, but yet an individual will say, don't protest. And when they choose for you to protest, they will confine you to somewhere where your voice cannot be heard. And they barricade everywhere with either the military or the police. So in that kind of country, here we are, some persons who call themselves lawmakers are now coming up with a proposal to remove immunity for vice president, who we know that the functionality of his office is dependent on the authority of his boss, the president. Then the deputies, the governors and the deputies. See, all of this is a jamboree, it's a drama. At 1 scene 1 is just what we have witnessed. And they have told us at 1 scene 2 that they are going to make consultations. So, are you saying that they didn't make consultation, just like Doctor said? I align with him absolutely. They didn't make consultation before they will come up to say, okay, the bill, mind you, the bill has passed second reading, according to them.
Yes.
It is going to die a natural death.
Okay, talk about consultation. Do you feel that the governors are beginning to fight back? For a proposal, a bill now second reading, now let's go and consult. Why would they want to consult now? Do you think is the time for bargaining between them and these governors, Doc?
Some of these issues, I usually like to look at them as an individual. Yes, some governors may want to bargain, but I also believe there should be one or two or few of them that will not want to bargain. even those who are proposing the bill, some of them are going to aspire to be governors in the near future. Even amongst them, I think some of them, well, most past governors are in the Senate.
In the Senate, yes.
So, and of course, if the bill is going to pass, we cannot just go through without also going to the Senate. So, I want to think that, well, some may want to bargain, those who have ulterior motives, but for those who sincerely want to serve the people, and I think we still have some people like that in this country, they may not bother. Because to me, it's just to make you sit up. The purpose of even the constitution entirely, or the purpose of rules and regulations in any of this, is just to make you sit up, to promote discipline. And as far as I'm concerned, if I were a governor, I won't be perturbed. I won't move. Because it is...
Now, if you're a governor or an honest governor, which are you really talking about, dog?
I don't know whether there's a dishonest governor. I don't know if there's a dishonest governor. If I were as a person,
Yes.
I don't think I'll be perturbed. I won't move. Because it is to make you sit up properly. You know, if you... But all of us have been students. The reason why every student sits up and reads his book is because you cannot carry your textbook into the examination hall. If it were going to be allowed, nobody will bother to read. You just carry your book. When you see the question, you start looking for the answer, you write it down, nobody will bother you. But because you know they won't allow you, you sit up and read the books. So it's supposed to make our leaders sit up so that we know, despite I'm a governor, I have this limitation, I have that limitation, and therefore you have to comport yourself properly. So that's my view.
All right, we want to go for our break. On return, we'll continue with this discussion. Proposal to remove immunity from governors, second reading. And now they are saying, let us go for more consultation. What in the world is going on? Is it a time for bargaining, or someone bigger, stronger is beginning to pull the string? What do you think? To be of great benefit to Nigerians. Do stay. We'll be right back. So much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is 60 Minutes Nigeria. Like I said earlier on in course of the show, it's time for you to tell us what you feel about this proposal. Take a look at the screen. You get to see the number there. All right, you can call into the show. That is at 070. Yeah, I believe that just call the number. Just call the number on the screen, and we will definitely pick your call. Let me go to Barrister Emmanuel Obakolo. There seems to be a fight right now, a cloud gathering for you to have passed the first reading, second reading, and now you're saying let's go for consultation. What does really foretell if you don't want to put 2 and 2, because you've been saying this thing might not see the light of day. It might not see the light of day. Is it time for bargaining?
I didn't say it might. I said it will not.
It will not.
Yes. And I'm very sure of what I'm saying. Listen, all of this drama is geared towards 2027.
2027?
Yes.
Why would you say that?
Some of these legislatures have interests, and it will be an appropriate epoch for them to bargain.
No, you hold on, we have a call. Hello? Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome to 60 Minutes Nigeria. What do you feel about this proposal?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, what's your name, by the way?
Yeah, when they are discussing with the CBO, very important topic that we have to talk about in Nigeria. But what I would say, from what I've seen so far in Nigerian politics, is that when in power, they are assigning offices. Nigerian persons will not say the truth, benefiting from it. They remove them from power. That is where we now get to know that this thing, if every of us are saying all this thing, they give us only this, or if the president call us and said, you occupy this position. So anytime it goes first topic up, nobody will support it. Nobody will support it. The reason why you are listening to this right now is because power. So what if you are a president or you are a governor, will you support that? That is the question we should be asking. Question I just want to ask, if you are the president or you are the governor, And will you approve this or not? That's just my question I want to ask.
What's your name, by the way? All right, he just hang up. Well, just call the number on the screen and we'll get to your opinion. Barrister, please continue.
It is an epoch for negotiations. Some of them are interested in going higher politically. They want to climb the political ladder to become governors and otherwise. And they know that the only way for them to achieve their ambition is to begin to come up with what they know from the beginning that will not succeed. So they will use it as a springboard to arrive at an agreement with even the president.
All right.
And that is why you see them talking and giving so much protection to the president. So if we are serious people and don't want us, Nigerians, to take them serious, the immunity must be removed from the president, the vice, the governors, and the deputies.
All right, 08077770300. That is the number to call to be part of the show. He said it's all about 2027. Doctor, do you agree with his view?
Well, to me, 2027 is still a bit far.
To a politician, it's just like today or tomorrow.
No, just wait. I know. I know that our politicians, they start planning for the next time from the day they take over.
Yes.
Once you be sworn in, they start planning ahead for the next election. And you see, my only problem with this bill now is that why are they suspending the bill at this stage and now they want to go for consultation? What is the rationale? And that will now make me to toe the same line with Barrister. Because when you see a man comes out in the afternoon.
Hello.
Oh, you just hold on, Doc. Yeah, hello, good afternoon. Welcome to 60 Minutes Nigeria. What's your name?
My name, God bless you.
All right, go ahead.
I so much appreciate you people. Because this country, the way they are taking it to now, we don't really understand. The one person cannot be everybody. Corruption is started from the leaders, from the president. He's using the Senate and the rep to favor itself. We Nigeria, we are wise. Not that we don't know what is happening. Again, because of his benefit. 27.
All right, now do you feel that immunity should be removed from governors, vice presidents, and deputies, which are the president?
If it is removing immunity from the governor, the deputy, the immunity will remove from the president.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, please, though, continue with your opinion.
Yes, I was going to say that if you see a man comes out in the afternoon and tells you that, look, this is what I saw this afternoon. Then a few days after, you now call him, come and testify of what you say you saw. He will tell you I have a headache. Then, you know, say, when are you going to come? You say, I cannot tell you, because as I'm here, so I did hospital, whether it's inside is you. That's to tell you that somebody must have gone to tell him, I beg, this matter, leave her now, and settled him. So he will drop it. So to me, like I said, the only issue here now is why this going to consult when it has passed second reading.
Second reading. All right, now let's hear from this caller. Hello.
Hello?
What's your name and where are you calling from?
I want to contribute to what is going on.
Go ahead. What's your name?
My name is Ojezwa J.
All right, Ojezwa James, go ahead.
What we are talking about here is not possible. This very current government today. If somebody is expecting that if somebody wants to use cutlass to cut his own neck, except the government is complete. This democratic setup is completely removed, then another system is brought up to replace all this. Otherwise, we are just talking. Who's going to make it? Who's going to sign it? Any law has been on the table or the president or signed. You better answer these questions. It's not possible. The people should just forget about removing immunity or not removing immunity. It can't happen with this present government. It can't.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Sosomodoke. He said it's like you using cutlass to cut your own neck, to chop off your own head.
But I remember there was a time Obasanjo was proposing removal of immunity.
Immunity, yes, it did.
Was he, the only thing I can't remember, I don't know whether he was still president as at that time. So, but if he was president, does that now translate to mean that he wanted to...
I don't think he was a president.
He wasn't.
He wasn't.
He had left
He
office.
wasn't. He had left office.
You see, if we are serious in this country, if we want this nation to work, we must forget about what you are going to directly benefit. If we don't, you will discover that we'll keep making rules, regulations, and before you pass those laws, you consider your interest first. So if this country is going to work, we must forget about those personal interests that tend to influence all that we do, all our actions.
All right, Doc. All right, Doc. Well, let's take this call to be the last call for this particular program. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
No.
Yeah, good afternoon. What's your name?
Guest in the studio. My name is Barrister Steve Unwikochin. I want to align what my senior colleague to you, sir, has asserted. The leader of the vice president and the governors. Somehow, or whoever is especially the is acting outside the race. You understand? We all have motives. And I want to tell you, it's like putting the cat, before. Like is going to, we are not going for contact. And again, if you look at that talks about this immunity clause, on that, it's not going to be easy. Anything that has been enshrined in the Constitution is not to remove. Remember, finally, the two-thirds majority. You see happen. So that's why I say I agree with my senior colleague, the legal gentleman, that through all this process, he is already around the corner.
Thank you so much. Well, you've heard them. You're going to have your last line in this particular discussion, 30 seconds to summarize your point. Let's start out with Barrister, then I'll come to Doctor. Go ahead, Barrister.
They succeeded in keeping us busy and to distract us.
Wow. So just distraction and just keep them busy.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Barrister. Doctor, your last line.
My view, it is high time we began a true process of not just removing the immunity clause, but reviewing our entire constitution.
Thank you so much. Well, you've heard both of them. A proposal was made, and it's still a proposal. The proposal will go to the first reading, second reading, that same house, and they're saying, hold it, let's go for consultation. Anyway, you've been in charge of that. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on today's show. I appreciate a wonderful analysis. Remember, their opinions, theirs, it has nothing to do with IDV. We'll do it again same time next week, and this time around, I go Sarbola Hall will be on the ground. Bye for now.